Listen to this sound. This isn't the noise of an ordinary factory. It's the heartbeat of an icon in the making. Let me ask you a question. If we turned the clock back more than a century, would you recognize the Statue of Liberty in the heart of Paris? Through the lens of AI painstakingly reconstructed, history is no longer just faded pages or silent reels of film. Right beside these Parisian craftsmen, I want you to look closely at the surface of the statue. It bears countless tiny dents left by hand-hammered blows, fingerprints of an entire generation of French artisans. I lead you inside the statue's chest to listen to a secret. Do you hear the faint clicks of metal expanding and contracting? That is how the lady breathes, enduring the fury of ocean storms. A perfect Union romantic sculpture, enveloping masterful mechanical engineering. But look at Bartholdi's deep-set eyes in the corner of the workshop. I see pride intertwined with despair. As the statue rises ever taller, the project's funds run ever thinner. A symbol of freedom, now imprisoned at its birthplace, unable to cross the ocean for lack of money. Brace yourself, because now I'm about to take you to the most painful moment of all. The statue is dismantled into 350 pieces, lying silent in the darkness of a ship's hold, about to begin a life-or-death crossing of the Atlantic. The mad design, 1875-1880. I want you to forget just for a moment the image of a serene green-hued statue standing in New York Harbor. Come with me as we turn back time and stand amid the sweltering heat and dust of a Paris foundry in 1875. Look there, behind the haze of smoke stands Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi. Watch his hands smeared with clay carefully shaping tiny models. It's hard to believe that from these lifeless lumps of earth, one of humanity's greatest symbols is about to rise. But let me take you closer, right up to the sheets of red-hot copper glowing in the firelight. This is where the madness truly begins. Can you believe it? The entire skin of this colossal lady is only 2.4 millimeters thick, thinner than 2 coins stacked together. In this 4K reconstruction, every tiny dent and ripple is visible. They are the marks of the repoussé technique artisans striking tens of thousands of hammer blows, using nothing but human strength to press fragile copper sheets into rigid wooden molds. The hammering echoes through the workshop. And it is not merely the sound of labor. It is the pulse of absolute perseverance, the moment when cold metal is given a soul. And now lift your gaze with me. Look beyond the gleaming copper skin, and you'll discover an overwhelming labyrinth of steel. This is the great skeletal framework designed by Gustave Eiffel, the man who just a few years later would astonish the world with a tower bearing his name. Eiffel did not build a rigid mass of steel. Do you see those flexible joints, the beams precisely calculated so the statue can breathe, swaying gently with every gust of wind? It was a truly mad engineering challenge. How could a structure nearly 50 meters tall withstand the power of the ocean? If San Francisco in 1906 fell when the ground itself betrayed it, then here in the City of Light, humanity was using steel and copper to defy the sky. I place you here to witness a historic moment when romantic art merges with masterful engineering, giving birth to a form that can bend before the storm, yet is never brought down. But those fragile sheets of copper could not remain hidden in the shadows of the foundry forever. The time had come for scattered fragments to rise as one, so the world could finally behold the stature of a goddess. Step with me out of the forge's smoke and into a surreal sight. The lady begins to claim the sky of Paris. The colossal pieces, 1881-1884. Everything around me now feels surreal. Right here in the heart of Paris in 1881, do you see it? Amid the elegant historic streets of France, a colossal copper face has risen towering and silent, like a god newly descended to earth. As I stand at her feet and look up, those eyes, each nearly a meter long, are not gazing at us, but toward a distant horizon. A calm, timeless stare that seems to pierce through centuries. The people of Paris were so astonished that they were willing to spend their very last francs just for the chance to climb inside that colossal head while it was still taking shape. You see it now through the lens of AI. We become dwarfs, wandering beneath the feet of a blazing red giant. This is no longer art. This is a wonder-daring reality itself. But come deeper inside these scaffolds with me, where the rhythm of hammer blows has begun to fade, replaced by anxious sighs. This is where the project's quiet tragedy starts to reveal itself. A cruel paradox had taken shape. France would build the statue, America the pedestal, but the fragile thread binding the two was slowly beginning to unravel. By 1884, the statue stood complete and radiant in Paris. Yet across the ocean, the pedestal remained nothing more than a dusty, empty plot, its construction stalled by a lack of funds. When I look into Bartholdi's eyes at this moment, I can feel the worry tightening around his heart. The lady was forced to wait in Paris for years on end, while her creator endured the growing anxiety of delay. A question hangs in the air, one that both he and I cannot escape. Will this greatest gift in human history ever find its harbor, or will it remain forever, a glorious ruin, abandoned at the very place where it was born? But patience, even patience born of devotion, has its limits. When the last sparks of financial hope finally began to flicker, raised from the spare coins of ordinary Americans, the lady seemed to understand that the time had come. She would have to abandon her complete form to seek her destiny. Prepare yourself, because now I will lead you away from the safety of solid ground and into a journey where the line between glory and catastrophe is no wider than a single raging wave. The transatlantic journey, 1885-1886. To reach freedom, the lady had to accept being taken apart. As you look upon this scene, both painful and filled with hope, 350 pieces of red copper from her solemn face to her proud torch are dismantled and packed into 214 massive wooden crates. All the pride of France now had to cross 5,000 kilometers of restless sea searching for a new home. Stand with me on the deck of the Isère in mid-May 1885. Do you see the savage waves of the Atlantic threatening to swallow this small vessel whole? Through this 4K reconstruction, I want you to feel the terrifying lurch as the ship heels up to 30 degrees under the force of the storms. Amid the roar of the sea and the creaking clash of metal in the hold, there were moments when the sailors held their breath in fear. I can feel the cold breath of seawater, the suffocating air inside the hold as we struggle to protect liberty from nature's fury. If a single wooden crate were to burst open, if even one copper plate were to be crushed, 10 years of effort would vanish into nothing. There were moments when it seemed the lady herself might sink to the ocean floor, becoming a permanent ruin beneath the waves, rather than a symbol standing on solid ground. But fate chose another path. June 1885. The fog begins to lift, and New York emerges like a dream. I guide you across the harbor's surface to witness a reception bordering on madness, a spectacle history had never seen before. 200,000 people line the shores, packed shoulder to shoulder. From the wealthy elite to impoverished immigrants, all eyes are fixed on the Isère. Ship horns scream louder than the waves' flags flood the sky in brilliant color beneath the sun. This is a sea of humanity, roaring with belief, with hope, with the longing for a new life. But look closely through the cracks of those wooden crates. Even in the midst of this overwhelming celebration, the lady still cannot stand. She lies silent in the darkness of her cargo, imprisoned by the unfinished stone pedestal below. The symbol of liberty had arrived, but she was forced to wait. For nearly another full year, she lay in silence on Bedloe's Island, enduring the bone-chilling cold of a New York winter, waiting for the final coins to be gathered from the American people. Here is a harsh truth I want you to remember. Even a goddess must pass through her darkest hours before she can truly light the world. The lady's patience was finally rewarded with the faith of an entire nation. when the pedestal was no longer an empty patch of ground, but a solid foundation at last, a 10-year journey from Paris reached its end. And now I will take you back to October 28th, 1886, the day the entire world held its breath, waiting to see the true face of an icon. The Call of Liberty, October 28th, 1886. October 28th, 1886. New York is shrouded in thick fog and a steady drizzle, yet nothing can extinguish the heat on Bedloe's Island. Stand here on the pedestal with me. Do you feel the tremor beneath your feet? That is the heartbeat of millions of souls, all focused on a single point. At the top of the scaffolding, Bartholdi stands alone, his hand clenched around the rope tied to the veil covering the lady's face. He is trembling, not from the cold, but because 10 years of his life, 10 years of doubt and hardship, now stand just one pull away from immortality. And then, the moment arrived. Look closely with me. This is what modern history often forgets. The original Statue of Liberty was not green. In the light of that day, she blazed like a freshly minted coin, burning copper red, reflecting humanity's longing for freedom itself. I can feel the silence fall over New York Harbor for a few brief seconds before it is shattered by the thunder of cannon fire and a roar of cheers. Liberty had finally found her home, but her journey did not end there. I want to take you forward across more than a century of time. Look again at the 2.4mm copper skin we first saw in Paris. Under the relentless assault of sea salt, ocean winds, and time itself, that fiery red copper began to transform. This was a natural process of oxidation unfolding over nearly 20 years, giving birth to the iconic green patina we recognize today. That green hue is not a sign of decay, it is armor. A protective shield that allows her to endure standing firm against the cruelty of time. Standing here, viewing the lady through the eyes of a traveler in time, I realize this freedom is never given easily. It is shaped from clay, hammered with steel, carried through storms, and built from the spare coins of the poorest among us. She is not merely a statue. She is living proof that when humanity has the perseverance to piece together every fragment of a dream, it can create a symbol that will illuminate the world for generations to come. More than a century has passed. The once red copper skin now bears the timeless green of age. Yet, even as her color has changed, the story of 350 fragments crossing the ocean endures, reminding us that the greatest achievements are sometimes born from the smallest pieces, so long as we have the perseverance to put them back together. I am truly grateful to have stood here with you beneath the lady, hearing once more the echo of hammers from Paris, and feeling the cold bite of the Atlantic's waves. History is not a collection of dry numbers on a page. It is a lived experience, one that you and I have just traveled through together. If this extraordinary journey moved you, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's not just a way to support me, it's how we ensure that these great stories are never forgotten. Leave a comment below and tell me which great work you'd like us to explore together next. For now, the journey of the Statue of Liberty comes to an end, but countless other secrets of humanity are still waiting for us ahead. See you on our next journey.